What's going on, guys? Preparedness isn't just about carrying the right gear or knowing how to shoot straight. It's really about self-preservation. And that's kind of what, the all-encompassing bigger picture of survival is. Whether that means protecting yourself or your team or the people that you're responsible for. Survival can take many forms. It might be a very localized event, such as a law enforcement officer dealing with a violent encounter during a call for service. It could be you and your family making a wrong turn and suddenly finding yourselves trapped in a protest that's turning violent. It could be a large-scale scenario that's presenting itself in that form of a huge disaster, whether you're simply trying to escape or persevere through the chaos. What really brought this topic to the front of my mind was an experience from just a few days ago now. We ran a high-threat medical operations class for a law enforcement group, and watching those officers train and really getting into the ability of integrating medical skills under pressure, coordinating communication, and balancing all of that with live fire scenarios, it hit me how critical that this triad really comes together to be. No matter the situation, whether small scale or large scale, each of these scenarios shares a common thread: the need for three equally critical skill sets: medical ability, communication, and live fire coordination. Without them, preparedness is incomplete. With them, you stand a far greater chance of surviving and protecting those around you. In today's world, violent events are happening across the country with what is coming to be really an alarming frequency, from active shooter incidents to sudden acts of mass violence. The reality is clear. We cannot afford to be one-dimensional in our training. Tactical medicine, and with that comes along tactical rescue. That is the cornerstone of ranch strategies. The reason I believe it's so crucial is simple. In any violent encounter, the likelihood of injury is high. Bullets, shrapnel, blunt trauma, these aren't hypotheticals. They're realities. If you can't stop bleeding or open an airway or stabilize a casualty at the most basic level, then all the shooting skill in the world won't save a life. And let's be real. If you've taken on the responsibility of carrying a firearm, knowing that you may one day be forced to take a life, then you also carry an equal, if not greater, responsibility to save a life, even if that life belongs to the very person that you were just forced to shoot. And the types of basic level interventions we are talking about are things that are laid out in their order in the March algorithm. Things like, first and foremost, bleeding control, tourniquets, pressure dressings, wound packing, and then right behind that, airway management, knowing how to position, clear, or use adjuncts to maintain somebody's airway. And then shock recognition, understanding vital signs and rapid evacuation needs, because here is the thing. Medical skills are force multipliers. They extend the window of survival until higher level care arrives or until the victim makes it to them. In many cases, it's the difference between life and death. Now, let's get into the communication ability. We use the word chaos all the time, and the reason is that chaos truly is the enemy of survival. In violent events, or really any sort of emergency situation, but definitely violent ones, look at the after-action reports of any active shooter situation. Confusion spreads faster than bullets. Clear Concise communication keeps teams aligned, prevents friendly fire, and ensures medical aid reaches those who need it. So the types of comms things we cover in this class are what a lot of us would consider basic, but are absolutely critical skills to have. Simple things would be like having radio discipline, brevity codes, making sure you have clarity under stress. And with that, kind of incorporates the whole team coordination, assigning roles, maintaining situational awareness, and even doing information relays. And that can be passing updates to law enforcement or medical responders in organized formats like LCAN. Because in these situations, we've seen it time and time again, communication is not optional. It's the glue that binds medical response and live fire execution into one coherent plan. Now, let's factor in live fire coordination. Firearms are, without a doubt, tools of defense, but without coordination, they become liabilities. Shooting accuracy under stress, that's one thing. Shooting accurately, well, coordinating with teammates, medics, and command under stress, that is a whole other world. So with this, we are talking about things like controlled fire, having precision over panic so you can minimize collateral damage, because what's next? You know, when something goes bump in the night and the bad guy is between you and your backdrop is your kid's room, there is no place for collateral damage. Collateral damage really, it doesn't exist as ever being acceptable when it comes to law enforcement or personal defense. It's not allowed. If that happens, you are 100% going to prison. Now, do that all the while conducting movement under fire, bounding, covering, and conducting medical interventions, while doing all this with a short-term goal probably being to get some integration with dedicated medical resources. So getting to a point where you can secure a scene so advanced level life-saving care can begin. So in looking at all that, live fire training should and must be integrated with medical and communication drills. Shooting alone is not even close to preparedness. It's really only one piece of what can really turn into a massive puzzle. And ultimately, without one of these pillars, the system collapses. With all three, survival odds increase dramatically. Preparedness, planning, training, none of this is paranoia. In fact, if you live this life, it has become your responsibility. Violent events across the country remind us that waiting for help is not always an option. The first responder is often you. So here's my call to action for this video. As you can see, we are out here training all the time, and we have a bunch more already scheduled or are in the process of scheduling come the spring and summer months. Well, at least before wildfire season kicks off for me. But the call to action would be to train beyond the range, train beyond the classroom, build a skill set that integrates medical care, communication discipline, and live fire coordination. Because when violence erupts, it has already been proven that you won't rise to the occasion. You're going to fall to your level of training. Preparedness is not about fear. We've all kind of accepted that. It is truly about readiness. It's about protecting life. It could be yours, your team's, and the innocent people caught in the chaos. Medical skills, communication, and live fire coordination are not separate disciplines. They are one critical triad. And if we take them seriously, we stand a fighting chance against the violence that threatens our communities. And with that, I hope to see you guys come out to a class, meet you in person. But until then, we'll see you on the next one. Be safe.